couple on there. We did have a field of 13 originally, but 11 or 12. Anyway, where we go. Men's 1500 metres. Kipsang just Lemmy slotting behind him. McSwain moving up on the outside. The Chariot just trying to follow his teammate through. The two pacemakers moving. Kipsang kind of leading the pack there as McSwain moves up on him. That familiar forward-leaning stance of Timothy Chariot just slips in behind his teammate Kipsang. Sawinski side are given the task to try and get this pace moving.
Well, no surprise to see Stewie McSwain to the fore. He's been suffering from long COVID, so there's a bit of a question mark over how he's feeling.
Lemmy is moving into third place behind the tall 19-year-old, and these four have got a gap to Kajelcha and Simotwal.
Well, Kipsang will fancy his chances from here. Chariot don't write him off, but Kipsang burned him off in the last 100 metres at the African Championships earlier in the year, so he's got that in his back pocket on his CV. But do not write Chariot off. Down the back straight, into the headwind. Kipsang still leading.
Well, they're making this look hard work, and it's all because of the wind. And this sort of pace, you'd normally be expecting them to really be picking up and kicking hard. And these three are pulling away from everybody else. But it's Kipsang still in the front, and he's the one who's decided, yep, you're going to have to come past me. He's been there all the way long, and Chariot has backed himself to outkick him in the home straight. Doesn't look as though Lemmy's got anything to offer. It's Kipsang against Chariot. Who's going to be strong enough? Over the last 50 metres, Kipsang's still got it at the moment, and he's going to take the win. Kipsang gets it from Chariot, then Lemmy.
So, Eric Sawinski's been asked to go out in 1:53, and that would be 2:20 to 2:21 at 1 kilometre. I think that might be a little bit optimistic at this stage of the season, but we shall see. Oh, and there's been a faller. Who's gone down? I'll tell you what, I think it's Stewie McSwain has gone down. Yes, it is. That's really rotten. To the bell, and it's Matt Rampton who leads at the bell there, around 2:40 at the bell. This is probably about the right sort of race for these fellas. They can test out their speed over the final 300 or 400 metres rather than expect a long, hard race from the gun, as they will get mid-season. But Kipsang at 1200 metres, 2:54, that third lap, only a 60. That enabled the bunching. Katir on the inside, Hoare on the outside. Meshal is there as well. Greffen coming through for Luxembourg into the top 3 or 4 places. Into the final bend. Kipsang holding that inside line. Meshal is there as well on the inside. Katir hasn't got daylight to get through. Kipsang has to hold the position, otherwise Katir, the Spaniard, will get through on the inside. But he kicks again. It's been a smart run from Kipsang. He won last week in Doha on 3:35, and he eases away here. Drives hard with the arms towards the line and takes it. 3:35.15 again. It's a little bit quicker than last week from Abel Kipsang, but that is very, very smart racing indeed. 4 laps of the track then. And Ingebrigtsen, we know, loves a fast pace. Remember that striding to gold in Tokyo last year in 3:28. He looked comfortable, didn't he? I rewatched that race last week, and it was quite supreme. His personal best equates to something like 3:45, 3:46 for the mile. And Jakob Ingebrigtsen has a best of 3:47. That was set at this meeting last year in August last year. He's in third place at the moment, slotted in there behind Abel Kipsang. And the pacemakers team, Eric Sawinski, is always reliable. Comes down the straight with a lap to run. Timothy Chariot right behind him. Shades of the Olympic final here as they hear the bell this time. Great running from this field. They're all still in touch. 2:52 at the bell. There's going to be some very quick times here.
None more so than Ingebrigtsen, because he's the one who's attacked it early. If you want a quick time, you've got to go all out on the last lap from that sort of position that you're in, not just leave it to the last 200. Strong down the back straight, already has 7 or 8 metres, and the others are trying to go past Chariot. It looks as though he's not got much left, although he's trying to hold them off, and now they're just closing on Ingebrigtsen a little bit.
Well, Chariot being beaten with his own tactics so far here. He loves a hard, fast pace, but Jakob Ingebrigtsen has elevated this tactic to a new level. He just goes out, runs 56, 56, 56,
You don't need to run a 52 and 53-second final lap in this day and age. He's stronger than all of them at 5,000. He's stronger than all of them today in the Bowman Mile. Watch the clock. It's quick. He dipped under 350. It's a world lead for this year. Nobody else would have gone under 350. He's only under it by a tiny shade, but it separates himself conveniently from the rest of them. It was clearly a dominant run from Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
And he did perform pretty well in Birmingham, although he finished second, beaten by Kipsang in that race. Whoa, what's gone on there? Oh no, the 3 or 4 of them have been left behind. There's a lot of noise in the stadium, but I can't believe that they didn't hear the gun. And by the way, when everybody else goes, go.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful coach, Stan Long of Gateshead Harriers, once said, when I say go, go. Go.
Yes, just go.
They should have done. Anyway, Katier's getting himself back involved, just settling down Guerrero, taking them through, as I said, hopefully something around about 57 seconds, 154 to 800, that's the target. Guerrero finally steps aside, so Jake Hayward's going to find himself in front, the US-based British athlete, with Katier moving into second place. The Moroccan-born Spaniard looks comfortable, and also moving through Abdelatif Siddiqui of Morocco. Would be a big surprise if he got in the top 3 here. 300 metres, just over 300 to go, and Hayward has got them stacking up behind him. Grethen from Luxembourg, what a brilliant year last year, so many national records, and continued that indoors as well, has moved into 4th. But Hayward still trying to hang on as Jake Whiteman makes an attack on the outside. The first of the big names to show his cards. Katier doesn't respond. Hayward tries to follow his compatriot. So it's Whiteman with a 2-metre lead as he comes into the home straight. And Jake Hayward giving chase. Katier's got nothing here. Grethen is trying to get past Katier, but Jake Whiteman striding away, looking supreme. This will give him so much confidence. Exactly what he needed at this stage of the season. It's going to be quick. 3:32.62. Hayward takes second place. Great Britain 1 and 2. A rush for the line for third, which Siddiqui might have just held off the others.
Toes behind the line, gentlemen. We've all heard that many times. Now the wave light will be moving at exactly 3:46 pace. The pacemakers, 2 of them, Mounir Akbash of France is asked to go out to 800 in 152.5, and then Boaz Kiprugut of Kenya to 1,000 in 220.5. They want to keep it really crisp through the middle of the race, which is what Ingebrigtsen does. And actually, Steve, looking at the generational changes, I know it was a few years ago now, but you ran a 53 last lap when you ran that 3:46. Ingebrigtsen, I don't think has ever run a 53 last lap in a quick race. He would probably come back in about 56 and a half. It's how quickly he goes through the middle of the race, isn't it? The second and third laps that gives him these super fast times these days. Ingebrigtsen goes through 2:49.38. He needs a final lap here of about 57 seconds. That's well within his compass. And Hoare, the Australian, is going with him. But this is Ingebrigtsen's area of dominance. This final lap is where he will just pour it on, gradually winding it up. He won't run super fast times on the final lap, but he will run a very fast time after a very fast pace. Whiteman is stretched now, down the back straight, 200 metres to run, 3:18 there. It is going to be quick, there's no doubt about it. Hoare surely heading for an Australian record, as Ingebrigtsen still looks so relaxed. Those powerful legs drive on with 150 to go. Into the straight now. The gap opens up to the Australian behind him. Even he has had to let go. And the crowd, who rose to their feet at the bell, roar him on. Down the home straight. 30 metres to go. Watch the clock. 3:46.32 has been missed by Ingebrigtsen by the tiniest of margins. And Steve, come on, treat yourself to a smile. 3:46.46. He misses it by, 14 100ths of a second.
Looking for quick time here in Lausanne. 3 3/4 laps of the track as usual. Stewie McSweyn just going off a little slow off the front, but no need to get too involved in the first 100 metres. Let them settle down a little bit as the pacemaker Akbash moves to the front. Ollie Hoare right up there. Ingebrigtsen, as expected, not too far away. Neil Gooley right on the curb as well. Josh Kerr not too far away. Be interesting to see what he thinks of doing. Everyone just knows what he normally does, get the pace out, and then he'll pick it up and go. I just wonder whether we might see something a little different tonight. Just, well, Neil Gooley well back there. One or two tired athletes out there, I think, at this hot pace. And look at Ingebrigtsen here with taking the bell and opening up a gap already.
Well, he's stepping on the gas here, and here it is Ingebrigtsen, who really can just move through the gears almost imperceptibly. It's just so subtle, and in the blink of an eye, he's opened up almost, 5-6 metres over Stewie McSwain. Kipsang, we know, will stick to him like a limpet, and already this race seems to be one down the back straight with 2:50 to go.
2:47 through 1,200 metres, that's pretty quick. In fact, it's very quick, and if he can keep this going, but Kipsang is chasing. Now, Kipsang started the year so well, didn't he? And hasn't been able to convert that into the sort of performances he would want at the championships, but he's not going to catch Ingebrigtsen. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the crowd rising to him. This is going to be very fast. He senses it as well. Has a little look round, no danger. McSwain trying to get back to Kipsang. There's miles behind these three. The others are trailing, but it's Ingebrigtsen who's going to take the victory. Look at the clock, 3:29.06. Fastest in the world this year. The finger goes up. I'm number one. Don't you doubt it, he says. He didn't win the World Championships, though. But he can still produce the fast times, and he's completely blown the field apart here.